Flores night at Citi Field. Deep left center field. Taylor back near the wall. It's out of here! Flores ends it with a home run!
The trade that wasn't made might be the biggest hit for the Mets all season.
Wilmer Flores night at Citi Field comes to a fitting close, and the Mets win it 2-1 in 12. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Washington Nationals. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight at a loud Citi Field as the Mets play the middle game of their series against the Nationals. Last night, a storybook finish for the Mets as Wilmer Flores, who was nearly traded 2 nights before, wound up the hero. Today, the Mets welcome a newcomer, Yoenis Cespedes, one of the biggest midseason acquisitions the Mets have ever made, and a franchise that has brought in Don Clendenin, Keith Hernandez, Mike Piazza as midseason additions. Probably no more needed piece than Cespedes in this particular Mets season.
Well, a right-handed power bat. He brings 18 home runs to the Metropolitans, 8 in the month of July. So they also got a red-hot hitter. And I think more importantly, you've got the right-handed bat to go in between Murphy and Duda, which will be tonight. Also, he is a terrific outfielder, hitting .293 this year at Detroit. Drove in 100 runs last year also. He's a big bat. The 3 seasons he's played, he's hit 20-plus home runs. He wants to play and likes to play center field. So I think down the road, Gary, we're going to see a lot of him in center field.
Cespedes will be in left field tonight. He'll be batting third for the Mets in support of Jacob deGrom, who has just been marvelous for the Mets. He goes for his 11th win tonight.
Well, you got to say, basically, that he's the ace of this staff. He's pitched so wonderfully. This is his 20th start. He's only had 4 bad starts in the season. 3 out of the 4 decisions have been wins in his last 5 starts. He has just been terrific, most reliable. What a season he is having, an all-star. 1 and 2 in 4 starts against Washington this year.
And as he did a week and a half ago, he'll match up against rookie right-hander Joe Ross, the younger brother of Tyson, whom the Mets saw earlier this week.
Well, he started the season in Double-A, a non-roster player. Went to Triple-A, was 5-3 in 14 starts in the minors. He is, I guess, Tyson Ross light. He got a big slider, sinker, doesn't walk anybody. Only 3 walks so far in his 5 starts. Puts the ball in play. He's never faced the Mets. He's faced the Mets, and pitched a very good game. Got a loss. The bullpen kind of lost it for him, and he's looking to get on the even side here. This is a big game for a 22-year-old to pitch.
Mets with their win last night pulled within 2 games of the first-place Nationals in the National League East. They'll try and make it 2 for 2 in the series tonight with deGrom on the mound. All the action coming your way on SNY. Land Rover above and beyond. By Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the famous Bob-O-Pedic memory foam mattress, world famous. By DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Mets. By Heineken, open your world. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Follow the Mets wherever you are with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat, it's up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Tonight's Twisted But True Fact is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. In 2013, Yoenis Cespedes came to Citi Field, won the Home Run Derby without being on the All-Star team. He would then win the Home Run Derby again last year.
That's twisted but true, Gary.
It doesn't sound so twisted, but it is true. We promise you that. What's also true is that Yoenis Cespedes is about to make his Mets debut. Mets and Nats. First pitch is coming right up. Brought to you by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. By Bedgear, performance betting of the New York Mets. Sleep cool like your favorite player. Bedgear.com. Sleep fuels everything. And by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at mbusa.com. 20th start of the year for Jacob deGrom, who's been on an absolute roll. Last 12 starts, pitching to a 1.37 ERA. He's been almost impossible to score against. And he'll try and keep that roll going tonight against this Washington Nationals lineup. And other than Denard Span, all their players are back. Wilson Ramos, who didn't start last night with Jose Lobaton catching. He's been a Met killer. He'll hit 7th tonight. And the Nats try and get it revved up. They're 7 games over 500, just 2 games in front of the Mets.
And there's the Jeep numbers for Jacob deGrom, and they are absolutely outstanding. The walks are incredible. Whip under 1. Awesome. What more can you say? Pitched that first series in Washington, pitched a good game and lost. came back home and pitched early and got beat up pretty good. And in the third start, he got the W in Washington. So the perfect guy after our opening series win to have on the mound for you.
Anthony Rendon getting set to lead things off for the Nats.
And Alexis Metropolitan defense, and who's out in left field, the new guy in town, Cespedes, who brings so much power and defense. Kelly Johnson in right field. Murphy, Duda, Flores back in the lineup at the game winner last night, and Darno behind the plate.
Mets made the player move today to activate Cespedes. They sent Michael Conforto down to AAA to make room. Had been some question about whether they might deal Kirk Nieuwenhuis, who's had a pinched nerve in his neck, but Nieuwenhuis is okay, so Conforto goes down, and the Mets welcome Cespedes. Anthony Rendon leads off 2 for 5 last night. DeGrom's first pitch of the night is in at the knees for a strike, and we're underway.
Right away, pouring a fastball in there. Kelly Johnson's 4th career start in right field.
And for Curtis Granderson, only his 2nd start this season in center field. He had 11 last year. So it's not the best defensive outfield alignment for the Mets, but I think it might change in the coming days.
I was a bit surprised with the starting lineup a little bit here, but I thought Lagares might play center field with the additional bat, but he's going to go with the left-hander, the extra left-hander right there in Johnson.
DeGrom just missed the outside corner, 2-1. Right-hand hitters this season are hitting 176 against DeGrom. The lefties don't have too much of a shot either, just 215. That's how good he's been. Yunel Escobar on deck, then Bryce Harper. And DeGrom gets it in for a strike, 2-2.
And that's his bread and butter, and it was Harvey's last night. By the way, Matt Harvey threw a brilliant ball game. Shame he couldn't get a W. But they both can paint the outside corner, and so can Syndergaard.
Syndergaard will pitch tomorrow night in the final game of the series. 2-2 to Rendon, and he flares one foul. Rendon's played half a dozen games since coming back from the disabled list. He was out with a quad injury. You see DeGrom's numbers against the righties this year, historically low.
Be a nice Strato card.
Pretty good in real life too. Harvey last night was wonderful for 7 2/3 innings. Rendon lifts one foul. Rendon 5 for 21 since returning from the disabled list. It was Gio Gonzalez who ran into control problems, as he often does, and lasted just 4 2/3.
Not a good start.
Put a lot of pressure on the Washington bullpen last night. We heard a lot after the game last night about player utilization. Mentioned Nieuwenhuis wasn't available for the Mets. We had talked during the game about how we were surprised Terry hadn't put him in for defense, and Matt Williams had some limitations with his bullpen last night. Rendon fouls it back. Both Drew Storen and Casey Janssen were not available to Williams last night, which was one of the reasons that Felipe Rivero got the 3rd inning of relief and gave up the game-winning home run to Flores.
And Rivero threw great. He just threw right into Wilmer's happy area.
8th pitch of this opening at bat for Rendon. He takes the fastball high. All fastballs from DeGrom, 3-2.
Well, we saw a lot of professional at-bats last night out of this Washington lineup. They really made Harvey work. Good 2-strike hitting last night. Just really tremendous pitching out of Harvey.
Rendon cracks it to deep center field. Granderson racing back near the warning track. He runs it down. Wouldn't you know it? Only his 2nd start in center field this year, and Granderson has a difficult play to make right out of the box, and he makes it well.
Well, I thought that ball was hit. There's the Granderson top of your screen. The jump. Speed's a wonderful thing, is it not?
So with help from his occasional center fielder, DeGrom wins a 9-pitch battle with Rendon.
Not happy with the pitch. Too much plate.
So 1 out now. Yunel Escobar was 1 for 5 last night and drove in the tying run in the 8th inning against Matt Harvey. Escobar's 7th in the National League with that .312 batting average. And he takes a slider for a strike. If you're going to get DeGrom, you usually have to get him early. Jacobs' first inning ERA this year is 4.26, and of the 9 home runs he's given up this season, 5 have come in the first inning.
Well, it's like all top-notch pitchers. You don't want them to get their rhythm. You see that finger cover on the glove of DeGrom.
Lately, though, even the first inning has been no sweat for DeGrom. He hasn't given up a first inning hit in any of his last 6 starts.
That finger guard right there is, a lot of pitchers tip their pitches. They stick out their finger on a breaking ball.
Loop the other way, and there's a base hit for Escobar. So the Nats have a 1-out base runner. And Bryce Harper coming up.
It's not a bad pitch. Good little cutter away, but it stayed flat, and a hitter can track a flat breaking ball. Good hitting. Escobar just having himself a really nice season.
So 1 out and 1 on, and now Bryce Harper, who had himself a miserable night last night, went 0 for 5, and then his 5th at bat in the 11th inning, called out on strikes, got in the face of Jerry Meals, was ejected, and really put his team in a bad way as a result. Harper, though, having a magnificent season. And he takes away for ball 1.
There was a called 3rd strike, and we had the overhead, and it was outside. And Meals did not have a good night behind the plate last night. And once you swear, it's over. They can run you.
And he pulls one into right field, a base hit for Harper. Escobar turning second. He'll go on to third as Johnson's throw comes into second. And so the Nats have a threat going in the first inning. 1st and 3rd and 1 out. So Harper picks up his first hit in the series.
So you see set up double play depth here. A little bit tight. Flores at second. He didn't have a chance for that ball. Hit too hard, and good aggressive base running. Kelly Johnson not used to playing the outfield. His arm's not, can't expect him to have a strong arm.
Well, he's played a lot of left field, not much right field. That's what he's being asked to do tonight. So an early crisis for DeGrom. He gave up a long fly ball to Rendon for the first out. Now back-to-back base hits to Escobar and Harper. Ryan Zimmerman hitting cleanup tonight after going 0 for 4 last night. Like Rendon, Zimmerman just recently back from a long stint on the disabled list with plantar fasciitis. This is just his 5th game since returning. And he lines one to center field. Granderson coming on to grab it. Escobar didn't get back to tag in time, and he will not be able to score. Escobar's first move was toward home plate, and by the time Granderson caught it, Escobar was still moving back to the bag. No chance to tag. 2 out.
Well, not good base running. Why? It's a line drive, a base hit. You can walk home. That's just not knowing where your outfielder is. It's a poor read. And by the way, Granderson had a nice throw there. I don't think he would have had a chance to score. And look at that haircut.
Well, there was a time when center field was Curtis Granderson's everyday position. It's been a long time since that's been the case, but he's been very involved in this first inning. And now DeGrom, not fooling anybody right now, has a chance to get through the inning unscathed. Jason Worth 1 for 5 last night. This is just his 5th game since coming back from a broken wrist.
Worth had really a tremendous at bat late in the game against Tyler Clippard. 13-14 pitch at bat, which Clippard finally struck him out.
On another pitch that was borderline. Escobar at third, Harper at first, and 2 out. And Worth takes a slider outside, 2-0.
So every ball was hit hard this inning. The weakest hit was Escobar's base soft liner to right field. 2 outs were solidly struck, and Harper hit it hard.
So DeGrom trying to survive this first inning behind 2-0 on Worth, and he gets the outside corner with a fastball. 2-1.
The Met defense is Flores up the middle. They're giving a big hole in that right side to Worth, who I don't quite understand it, because Worth can go that way.
Foul tips the fastball as DeGrom ran it in on him. 2-2.
Wanted it away, missed on the other side of the plate.
hasn't been the easiest first inning for Jacob deGrom, but now he's got a chance to get through it. Too high, 98, hardest pitch he's thrown in the inning.
Well, the fans are into this one. They are excited with the moves that have been made and capped with the trade for Cespedes.
Desmond would be next. Duda will play behind Harper, who will be in motion now with 3 and 2 and 2 out. Just got a piece of it. Good location by deGrom. This is the way that at bat went last night against Clippard in that 8th inning.
They're making deGrom work.
22 pitches deep and at least one more to throw. 3-2 to Worth. Outside ball 4. Borderline pitch. Worth got the call and the bases are loaded.
I tell you what, I bet you it's a ball. Worth has a good eye. And it's a gutty pitch to take, but it did miss. Jerry Meals last night, you're rung up.
Got a young umpire behind the plate tonight, Jordan Baker, calling the balls and strikes. Dan Worth then going to pay a first inning visit to Jacob deGrom. 2 singles and a walk have filled the bases with 2 outs, and a crucial juncture in this ball game comes very early with deGrom set to face Ian Desmond. Well, we mentioned that when he's had difficulties, it's often been in the first. You look at the umpiring quartet. Jerry Meals at third base is the crew chief. So now it's Desmond, who came into the series on a hot streak that started against the Mets last week. But he was 0 for 4 last night against Harvey and ultimately Carlos Torres, who struck him out in the 12th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. Desmond hitting just .215 for the year. And deGrom gets ahead of him with an up and in fastball.
They came right up and in on him there. This is a guy that is in a walk year. Turned down a whole lot of money from Washington and having a terrible year. 3 straight Silver Slugger at shortstop on the National League team, and just having a off year.
118 strikeouts, 3rd most in the league. He hits one toward the middle, and Tejada can't reach it. It's a base hit. Escobar's in. Harper right behind him. Ian Desmond with a 2-run single puts the Nats up 2-0 against deGrom in the opening inning.
Broken bat, seeing eye dog, as we used to call it. Sorry, those are baseball terms. I can't shake them. This just saws them all. Didn't get it inside enough, Gary. Ran in, but not in enough. And you see Tejada playing straight up, just can't get to it. Big 2-out hit, Gary.
So a rocky start for Jacob deGrom. 3 hits and a walk have produced 2 runs in the opening inning. And now the Met killer Wilson Ramos will step in with 2 out and 2 on. Ramos, who sat last night, has been struggling lately, but he's a .337 lifetime hitter against Mets pitching, including 3 for 8 against deGrom.
Oh boy,
jams him and he fouls it off.
That's not much of a chance on that one. That's one you want to lay off, I think.
And Ramos, a very aggressive hitter. We've seen that over the years.
Met killer.
Just 1 for 18 on the Nats' current road trip. It's got Worth at second, Desmond at first with 2 down, 2 runs home for the Nats. And deGrom laboring a little bit now.
I just love the poise of this young staff, and by young I mean young in experience. deGrom is 27, but he's not what you'd call a seasoned veteran, but they all behave on the mound as if they've been in the league 10 years.
Change up from deGrom. And he gets ahead on Ramos one, too.
Beautiful. Look at the sink. That's not fair.
So he's had to dip a little further into the arsenal in this first inning than he's accustomed to. One and two to Ramos. Two and two. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Slugging percentage against the Mets, active players. You got stars surrounding Wilson Ramos, who has just had great numbers against the Mets from the day he came to the National League from Minnesota.
Good eye. I'm telling you, I am impressed with this Washington lineup as far as their two-strike hitting and their knowledge of the strike zone. There's Matt Williams.
Third full count of this opening inning for DeGrom. He's already 30 pitches deep. Worth and Desmond will be running. Michael Taylor on deck. 3-2 to Ramos. Little number, and DeGrom finally gets through the inning. But a fast start for the Washington Nationals. Ian Desmond with a big 2-out hit. Mets come to bat with Yoenis Cespedes getting his first plate appearance. Cespedes goes immediately into the 3-hole in between Daniel Murphy and Lucas Duda. Kelly Johnson getting a start in right field. Ruben Tejada goes down to the 9 spot as DeGrom bats 8th. Travis d'Arnaud, his second game back from the DL.
22-year-old Joe Ross. You see his Toyota numbers. Look at the walks to those innings pitched. He's a strike thrower and a strikeout artist. Nice whip. This is his fourth. You'd say he's coming off of 4 straight starts. Quality starts. Cespedes having a chat with Mr. Long.
Curtis Granderson will lead things off. Granderson has gotten on base 15 straight games, and he takes a strike on the inside from Ross. 0-1. Curtis at .254 for the year, .349 on base percentage. Stealthily having himself a nice season. And Ross quickly ahead of him, 0-2. No sense waiting around against Joe Ross.
Oh.
In the modern era since 1900, there's never been a pitcher through his first 5 starts before Joe Ross who had 30-plus strikeouts and only 3 walks in his first 5 major league starts. 3 walks, 34 strikeouts.
Well,
he just missed with that fastball, 1-2.
He's a sinker ball pitcher, and he's been up with his first 2 pitches. There you go, right there. And when you're up in a sinker ball pitcher, that ball tends to flatten out. Curtis has reached base in 15 straight Wagos. There's the sinker where you want it downstairs.
Sinking past Wilson Ramos.
I kind of like the camo shin protectors and the chest protector on the catcher. Instead of having the color bright red, I like that look. I like that look. Who cares?
Up and into Granderson on a full count. It was only 3 days ago that the Mets faced Joe Ross's older brother Tyson, who's 6 years older. And Tyson did not have good control in that game. He walked 4 in 5 innings, but allowed just a run on 2 hits and wound up with a win. Granderson pulls one right at the second baseman Rendon, and that's the first out.
And we'll take a look at your Coors Light Washington National. First place Washington National defense. Michael Taylor in center field. Denard Span on the disabled list. 2 All-Stars on the corner outfield positions. Ian Desmond, of course, we've talked about. Ryan Zimmerman just put back in the lineup. First year really playing every day at first base, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
See what the guy he replaced did last night.
LaRoche.
Yep. Danny Murphy takes a strike. Adam LaRoche pitched a 1-2-3 inning. And you remember his dad, Dave LaRoche, he threw a lob. Well, so did Adam. He threw it as slow as 50 miles an hour.
And
1-2-3 inning.
Wow.
Breaking ball in for a strike. White Sox got ripped by the Yankees 13-6, so it gave LaRoche a chance to take the mound.
LaRoche is not having a terrific season, is he?
No. Never know with him, though. He can go on a tear the last 2 months. 1-2 to Murphy. Murph 1 for 5 last night, hitting a 270 for the year. And Yoenis Cespedes is parked on deck. This crowd has been roaring ever since he walked into the ballpark today. You can imagine what the reaction will be when he comes to the plate.
He's up. He's geared up. This is a young man here, 22 years of age. His team has lost the first game of a very important 3-game series. We're in the month of August now, folks. This is it. This is down the stretch run here. They're hanging on to a 2-game lead. It's a tough spot for a young man.
He's in the spot of Steven Strasburg in the Nats rotation. 1-2. And Murphy chases the slider in the dirt for strike 3. So 2 out and nobody on as Cespedes makes his way to the plate. Well, we mentioned it during the open tonight. The Mets have had some significant mid-season pickups, going back to Don Clendenon in '69, Keith in '83, Mike Piazza in '98. But of all those guys, nobody has arrived with more home runs in season than Cespedes does. 18 home runs.
And 8 in the month of July, as we said in the open. He's a red-hot hitter. Good slider right there. 87 strikeouts in 403 at bats. Okay, he's going to strike out around 120 up plus times. He's on a pace for 90 plus RBIs, around 27 home runs.
1-1 from Ross. And again, the slider has him fishing. 1-2.
And I don't care who you are, what kind of star you are, when you're on a first game on a new team, particularly at home, in front of the new fans, your new home fan, you're going to be a little nervous.
And in a new league, too.
Yep.
Never played in the National League before. His 4th big league team. Started him out with the A's. Had a huge rookie season in 2012. The A's dealt him to the Red Sox last year. And then to the Tigers this season. And he has that unusual contract where he has to be released at the end of this year, so he becomes a free agent, even though he will have only had 4 years in the big league. 1-2 coming. And Cespedes got a piece of that slider to stay alive.
Well, he keeps flailing at that low and away slider, and Ross, to his credit, it's like a computer just spitting out the printout. He just keeps putting it there.
Ross has thrown his slider 35% of the time this year and clearly has studied the scouting report on Cespedes. Grounded to short. Desmond gets in front of it, so he finally threw him a fastball. Cespedes grounds out in his first Mets at bat, and Ross handed the lead, has himself a 1-2-3 first inning. Michael Taylor leads off the second inning and fouls back Jacob deGrom's first offering.
He had a rough night last night, Garrett.
0 for 5. Golden sombrero.
4 strikeouts. Ouch. You don't want those days. Candelaria gave me an 0 for 4 one time in my career in Pittsburgh. 4 punch-outs.
Well, Taylor has struck out a lot, 98 times this year, but has done a nice job filling in for Denard Span, the lone regular player for the Nats who remains on the sidelines. They don't know when they're going to get Span back. They have a pretty good idea when they're going to get Steven Strasburg back after one more rehab start, and then they will be close to whole. Taylor down on strikes. That's the first of the night for Jacob deGrom.
Wow, 5 strikeouts. Woo. Goodness. A lot of plate upstairs. Swung right through it. There you go.
Get
always
early evening here.
Always late in the season. Get that reflection. That always reminds us. The front offices over there, folks, behind right center field. Always remember one of my favorite baseball movies, The Natural, was the front office with the general manager or the owner. I think it was kind of like a Branch Rickey type character.
Ross grounds one for Tejada, and quickly deGrom has 2 outs. During tonight's game, you can get interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. deGrom needing a quick inning after a 31-pitch slog in the first. Faces Anthony Rendon with 2 out and nobody on. Rendon taking his time, giving his pitcher a breather.
As he should.
Rendon had a 9-pitch at bat to start the game, kind of set the tone for that first inning. Had a long fly ball to center that Granderson ran down. Well, deGrom has been on point lately. You mentioned the last 12 starts, 1.37 ERA. But how about Clayton Kershaw? 8 scoreless innings today against the Angels. He's now gone 37 straight innings without allowing a run. He's starting to approach the streak that Greinke had broken against the Mets.
Same pitching staff, 2 great pitchers. Angels are floundering, aren't they? They got swept by the Astros.
Lost 8 of their last 9 now. That's on the corner. 2-2 to Rendon. It was the first time in that game today with Kershaw facing Mike Trout that the 2 reigning MVPs, pitcher versus batter, had faced each other. Rendon goes down, side retired. 1-2-3 for DeGrom with a couple of strikeouts. That's more like it. 2-0 Nats in the second. Field advantage. Lucas Duda, 18 home runs this year. 15 of the 18 have come at Citi Field.
Well, Lucas has hit 6 home runs in the last 6 days. 8 home runs the month of July. That was second in the National League.
He had the 3 home run game on Wednesday night. Came off the bench last night and fouled out in his only at bat. Duda, Flores, and Johnson for the Mets in the second against Joe Ross, who retired the side in order in the first.
4 left-handers in the lineup, including DeGrom. Ross, .292 against left-handers this year. .187 against right-handers. There's the hero.
Folk hero.
Yes, sir.
I mean, anytime someone hits a walk-off home run, it's a big deal. But the circumstances were so charged for Wilmer Flores over the last 72 hours. Just made it an event to remember.
Public hero number 1.
2-2 to Duda.
Well, Ross right now hasn't getting a lot of sink. His ball's just running flat away. And he's not an overpowering pitcher.
He's only given up 1 home run over his first 5 starts. So he hasn't walked people. He hasn't allowed the ball to be hit out of the ballpark. Runs a full count to Duda, his second full count in the first 4 batters. Ross was in the Padres organization with his brother until last winter when he came in a three-way deal that involved the Padres and the Rays. 3-2 coming, and the breaking ball misses for ball 4. So Ross, who rarely walks anybody, walks Duda to lead off in the second. And now here's Flores. Another tremendous ovation for Wilmer Flores as he comes to the plate.
They're chanting Wilmer Flores.
Folk hero indeed. I saw Wilmer today. I asked him who he's heard from in the wake of all these events that have transpired since Wednesday. I stopped by Ramos. He said he's gotten texts from tons of people, and most of them he hasn't called back. He said mostly his family has just been tremendously supportive. But he said he did get a text from Edgardo Alfonso, who he's very close to, and he's been a big influence on Wilmer's career.
Very nice.
Gets a generous strike call. 2-1.
Ross is going to get in trouble if he keeps it up above the belting up. He's going to get in big trouble.
Was that a strike?
That was not a strike. But it's
2-1 to Flores. And Wilmer lays off the slider, and Ross falls behind 3-1.
Boy, you'd like to set Lucas Duda free, but you just can't run Duda. And there's Kelly Johnson in the on-deck circle. Duda doesn't run well enough. I think they're going to anchor him at first base. But you could.
Ross all of a sudden having trouble throwing strikes. 3-1 coming to Flores.
And he hits one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Worth to the warning track. At the wall is there to make the catch right in front of the orange line. Wilmer didn't miss by much. And he gets another ovation as he heads to the dugout.
Upstairs pitch. Right down the pipe. I thought he got it. Look at Worth. Doesn't matter what outfield position Worth plays. He's just really a terrific defender. It's he got the fat of it. He just got under a little bit too much.
Now Kelly Johnson with 1 out and 1 on takes a fastball for a strike.
Another pitch up, Gary. Oh my word.
Johnson playing his 6th game with the Mets, 2 for 14 with a home run since arriving.
Very interesting outfield positioning. I remember Johnson as being a pull hitter, but in the outfield, look at the left fielder, Worth, hugging the line. Look at Harper. He's basically hugging the line and dead pretty much straight away in center. Huge gaps for Johnson.
Get the impression that Bryce Harper doesn't move much. On that spot in right field.
Strawberry Fields?
Harper's Haven.
No offense, Darryl. I used to drive Darryl nuts with Carver. Does he ever?
Too deep.
He's playing too deep. Look, the grass is brown. He never moves.
Ross ahead on Johnson, 0-2. And Kelly takes the slider in the dirt. Another nice stop by Ramos. Darryl 1-2 strike.
Darryl would come in mumbling and go, I doggone McCarver, and I go, what? But he's getting on me. I go, Darryl, come on. Just don't listen to what's being said up here. We got a game to play.
Well, we saw last night at one point Ian Desmond waving Harper, trying to get him to play in a different spot, and Harper didn't move an inch.
Didn't move. And Desmond just looked in the dugout and shrugged.
1-2 coming.
Oh.
Johnson hits it out to left, and Worth is right there.
Right down the middle.
Staggered Worth for a moment.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Ross is flirting with danger. He's just throwing balls up in the strike zone. That wasn't very pretty from Worth right there. This is right down the pipe and up. Oh my goodness.
Well, so far he's gotten away with it. 2 out Duda at first, and now here's Travis d'Arnaud. Made his return from the disabled list last night after missing 6 weeks with an elbow injury. Went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Plan is for d'Arnaud to play 2 games and then get a game off and ease his way back in. One of the reasons why the Mets decided to keep Kevin Plawecki here rather than send him back to AAA to play every day, because at least initially Travis isn't going to play more than 4, maybe 5 games a week.
Got to figure out a way to keep Travis on the field. Enormous potential. I love his swing. I love his energy. Got a chance to have a fine career.
So Plawecki will probably catch Syndergaard tomorrow night.
Interesting, Dave Racanelli down in the dugout. He's usually out in the bullpen.
Well, needs to warm up quite yet.
Rack was right next to Plawecki, top stepping it. There he is. Rack's been here how long? Geez, forever.
Still looks as young as the day he got here. 1-2 coming. And d'Arnaud grounds one down to third. Escobar plays the short way, and they get the force to end the inning. A leadoff walk. Mets unable to capitalize after 2-0 Nats. State Audi dealers and the uncompromised Audi A3 sedan. Jacob deGrom had a rough first inning. Gave up 2 runs on 3 hits through 31 pitches, second most he's thrown in any inning this season. Yudel Escobar got it going for the Nats with a soft single to right field. Later scored the first Nationals run.
Slider away. Let's see if deGrom changes up on him. Second time through the order.
Trying to bunt, he pops it foul. Well beyond the reach of d'Arnaud and back in the crowd.
You know, something I never realized in my playing days, because I was never really wasn't a pitcher, was when Ronnie's learned so much from Ronnie. You have usually when you have a bad first inning, you go through most of the order. That second inning, you come back, you got the bottom of the order. That's inning to collect yourself, find your rhythm, have an easy inning. But now it's the next inning. Now he's got to go through the teeth of the order.
Escobar, Harper, and Zimmerman up for the Nats in the third. Escobar's really been a lifesaver for the Nats this year with all the people that they had hurt. He was brought here to be the second baseman, but with the injury to Rendon to start the season, he volunteered to take over at third and did such a great job that he's stayed there with Rendon's return.
They got him from Oakland in the offseason, correct?
Got him for Tyler Clippard. That was the deal that sent Clippard to the A's. Of course, Clippard now a Met. Tyler had to work awfully hard last night. Curveball from DeGrom bouncing away.
A little bit of a struggle for Jacob early here. Trying to get his sights squared up. Lined up, excuse me.
Escobar broke his bat as he fouled that off. Squared up, is that like
hitting? Wouldn't work for pitching.
Hitting the ball on the side.
Lined up would be more in the corners. You'd line up the corners and the knees, horizontal, vertical.
Kind of like looking through the sight of a rifle.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You line up your prey with the crosshair.
Right, sniper.
That wouldn't be squaring up someone. Generally these days the bat boy will come out and bring the new bat to the hitter, but Escobar made the long trek back to the dugout to get new one. Left DeGrom waiting.
That was one of the things they did to speed the game up, if you recall. Have the extra bat in the on-deck circle with the bat boy.
That's been
it's ridiculous.
For several years.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, I think.
Got the bat boy talking to himself now. DeGrom has had to work awfully hard for every out.
Absolutely. This lineup grinds you. Already next pitch 50. They really grind to make the pitcher grind.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat to Escobar with Harper on deck. He misses away in a full count. He looks a little frustrated.
He does. He hasn't found himself. It's unusual to see him, but very composed. But you can tell he's a bit agitated here about not being able to find it. It's a big game.
Grounded toward the hole, and Escobar gets it through for a base hit. Again on the slider. This time he pulled it. And the Nats have their 4th hit. Escobar's 2 for 2.
Not just a little hanger right there. He got it down, but it's not much break here. So
now Harper, who pulled one through the hole into right his first time up.
First ball fastball hitting too. Hits one after the first pitch.
We mentioned Harper's ejection last night. Did you see his comments after the game?
Oh, I did. I saw the one comment that he was helping his team.
That's what he said. He said, I was doing it for my teammates because, talking about Jerry Meals, he was bad all night.
Okay.
Well, he didn't really help his team. And his manager, Matt Williams, said repeatedly after the game, he's got to keep himself in the game.
Yep. You got to be aware of what's going on around you. Game that was going extra innings, bench depleted. You're an all-star player. Anyway,
it didn't have an impact on the game, but it forced Dan Uggla, who had never played first base in his life, to play first base the last 2 innings, and moved Ryan Zimmerman as a bad foot out to left field. And DeGrom sells one outside. It's 2-1. See him motioning and trying to figure it out.
It's very interesting to watch this, and there's Grandpa right there.
Well, remember he had that slump early in the season where he was overstriding, and they fixed that between starts, and that's when he went on a tear that he's been on. Harper pops it up, and Duda Into foul ground to grab it. 1 out. So the question is, if his mechanics are off, does he have the ability to correct himself mid-game?
Oh, I think at this point he can. It's just certain extremes, right? Certain levels of not having it. But this one right here, he's looking hard and wants to find it quick. It's a big game right here. And I say grandpa to Dan Worth and the pitching coach affectionately. All the pitching coaches have their little brood.
Ryan Zimmerman hit it hard the first time up. Lined out to Granderson in center field. Escobar at first and 1 out. And that slider has been all over the place.
It's been flat too. So looks like he's trying to grow a little Fu Manchu.
Well, if this night doesn't go well, he might well shave it after the game. Another slider that misses. 2-1.
Isn't it a funny game, huh? He's only had, this is his 20th start. He's really had only 4 bad starts, off starts. The Cubs beat him up twice, ironically. Washington beat him up once. So he's been the most consistent pitcher.
Yeah, it was after that second Cubs start that he really kicked it in gear and been going for 2 months. Shot up the middle past Flores and a base hit for Zimmerman. So Zimmerman scalded the ball twice. This time gets a positive result, and the Nats have 2 men on.
5th hit. Had to come with the fastball, Gary. If you're not getting the breaking ball over as a hitter, you recognize that. And you lay off the bad one. And usually when they're throwing a bad one, it's not as sharp a break. And there's Dan Worth, and finally going to go out and have a little chat. When a pitcher doesn't have it, Gary, he's either missing in the dirt or he's missing upstairs. It doesn't have the sharpness so you can track it. So when it's a ball as a hitter, it's easier to take. And then you get ahead, and then he's got to come with a fastball. And that was the case right there with Zimmerman.
Second time in 3 innings that Dan Worth has trekked out there to try and help DeGrom figure things out. It's not been often that Dan has had to visit Jacob early in starts. Now Jason Worth, who walked his first time up, bats with 2 on and 1 out. Escobar at second, Zimmerman at first. That's now with 5 hits, all singles against DeGrom, who's walked 1 and struck out 2.
Just
Worth
missed.
takes a fastball just off the plate. .60 pitches already with 1 out in the 3rd for DeGrom. Fly ball to right. Kelly Johnson measuring it. Tagging at second is Escobar. And he takes 3rd. 2 out.
I agree right there. He went through 2 fastballs, and I just think you got to take your chances. Throw located fastballs. Try to get a rhythm. The ball ran in on Worth. Got by him, in on his hands enough. But try to find your rhythm by throwing that fastball and locating. Then maybe the breaking stuff will come later. Sooner the better, obviously.
Well, Ian Desmond had the big 2-out hit in the first inning. With the bases loaded, he broke his bat, but got it up the middle to drive in 2 runs. Now he's up with 2 out again, with runners at first and third. And DeGrom picks off the corner, 0-1.
4 straight fastballs.
Desmond started the night for the season hitting .138 with runners in scoring position. So that was a big hit for him. It's only the last couple of weeks that Desmond's bat has come around at all. Flies this one toward the right field line. Johnson near that sidewall, but it's in the crowd.
So he's going to his fastball. 7 straight. No, 6. Excuse me. That's the way to find your rhythm. He's keeping it down, Gary. This has got too much play right down the middle. Oh, if it was so easy, it's not.
One and 2 to Desmond. A fastball, another foul ball. He and Desmond, the last remnant of the Montreal Expos. Drafted by the Expos in their last season, 2004, before they moved to Washington for the 05 season. One, 2. Fouls it off, and then their first season in Washington, their first round draft pick was Ryan Zimmerman, who made it to the big leagues that same year in 2005.
And they made Zimmerman their poster boy, so to speak, but he just, and rightly so, he's a heck of a player, but he just can't stay on the field.
Well, he's been their David Wright.
Exactly.
Their career arc has become eerily similar. 1-2 coming off the corner. 2-2.
A lot of pitches, Gary. Wow, 67.
A lot of long turns at bat. Escobar had a 9-pitch at bat to start this inning. 7th pitch coming to Desmond. And he wastes away that fastball to stay in there.
They're making Met. I have not seen. There's the pitches by inning, and we're not through the 3rd right now. I have never seen a lineup make Met pitchers work like this.
Again, the 2-2 to Desmond. Got him looking. Desmond down on the fastball. 3rd strikeout for DeGrom, and he works through difficulty in the 3rd. Still 2-0 Washington. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Nats with a 2-0 lead. Jacob deGrom will lead off for the Mets, and standing by with a couple of ex-Mets is Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary here with Anthony Young and Ron Swoboda. They're here for a Mets fantasy camp reunion, which is going to be tomorrow night. But we have a chance to catch up with them tonight. And first of all, guys, what have you been up to recently? What are you doing right now?
When I'm back home in Houston, I run a baseball facility where I do private pitching lessons and coach travel baseball. and it's going pretty good right now.
It's got to be like coming up in the winter right now compared to how hot it is in Houston.
Oh, my God, it's hot out there. It was like 103 yesterday, and humidity, you just stand outside and you're in a ball of sweat, so it's very hot.
And Ron, you're in New Orleans right now. You're doing color commentary for the Marlins AAA team, right?
That's right, and we get AY's weather the next day. But yeah, the Marlins AAA team, the Zephyrs are there, and I'm just loving the idea that at my age and at this point in time I can do AAA baseball, which I really enjoy.
Guys, we will get to this fantasy camp in just a second, but last night I know both of you saw the scene here at Citi Field with Wilmer Flores, the storybook ending. What were your thoughts when you see that ball go over the fence?
It was a great feeling for me. I'm just happy. You know, I played for Terry Collins, and I'm just happy he got the team rolling and doing pretty good right now.
Ron?
And you know what? I think Flores feeling that love is going to change him as a kid. He knows this place got around him and got with him, and he responded in an incredible way.
And Ron, you were a part of the Miracle Mets. I mean, you've been a part of some pretty exciting moments with this franchise. Does that one rank? Obviously, it's not a World Series. It's not up there. But where does that rank in terms of moments that you've seen?
Look, this team is in it, okay? It's on, and this Met team is in it. And for him to help win that game that could have gone the other way, besides, you got to love a guy wearing number 4. You know what I mean?
All right, let's talk about this fantasy camp, the reunion again tomorrow night. For people that don't know what the Mets fantasy camp is, why don't you explain what you guys do down in Florida in the winter?
But we have a coaching staff of all the ex-ball players come down, and we coaches to some of the older guys. There's a lot of guys, but they come down there and they try to play the game of baseball. And like I tell them, y'all are the guys that be in the stands talking about us, and look how y'all playing. But, you know, it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of friends, and I've been doing it for almost 10 years now, if not 10 years, and I met a lot of friends, keep in touch with them, and it's a ball.
Ronnie says they try to play the game. How good are some of these guys?
Some of these guys can. I had a 70-year-old guy, Joe Abruzzo, facing a 30-year-old guy that could throw a little bit. A couple of years back, he had a walk-off, double, and it was the best moment I ever had at camp. So you can see, you can have moments like that. And these guys, their enthusiasm is so infectious. We just have a great time.
And if you want to be a part of it, it's in January down in Florida. Go to Mets.com/fantasy camp. Guys, back to you.
Two of the more interesting personalities in Mets history. Of course, Rocky was. It was part of one of the seminal moments in Mets history with the catch he made in Game 4 against the Orioles in '69.
He doesn't make that play. That goes to the wall. It's big trouble. Oh, it was off the batter, Brooks Robinson?
It was Seaver on the mound in the 9th inning. Ruben Tejada takes the strike. And, of course, Anthony Young is best known for his 27-game losing streak in the early 90s, but to me, what characterized AY was that he always kept a positive attitude even through a record-breaking streak. As Tejada throws him out, and Tejada's thrown out by Rendon. And in many ways, you think about what Wilmer Flores went through the last few days and how he was able to, rise to the occasion. It almost reminds you a little bit of a guy who dealt with adversity as well as Anthony Young did. Here's Curtis Granderson, who rounded out his first time up.
Curtis has been playing very well, hitting extremely well, doing a terrific job of late.
Second time through the batting order for Joe Ross is yet to allow a base hit. The base runner was a leadoff walk to Duda in the second. Mets were down 2-0 before they ever came to bat in this game. And Granderson pulls it down to first. Zimmerman to the bag. And the side retired. So Ross gets a 1-2-3 inning. We're through 3 with the Nats up 2-0. Sunday, will Geno Smith keep his starting quarterback job, and will the defense be able to overcome the suspension of their Pro Bowl lineman? The crew weighs in on all the questions surrounding Jets training camp with the latest straight from Florham Park on Jets Nation Inside Camp Sunday at 7, only on SNY. Wilson Ramos leads off in the top of the 4th, grounds one behind the bag foul. And that gives us a chance to show tonight's T-Mobile Data Strong fan photo of the game.
Oh,
that is just so sweet. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag SNY Data Strong Fan, and you can see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Maggie, you might know, is one of the astute observers of the game. Writes very poignantly about baseball. 1-2 to Ramos, who had a comebacker his first time up. Ramos, Taylor, and Ross for the Nats in the 4th. And a hard-working night for DeGrom.
I'll say.
Well, both teams had to dip heavily into their bullpens last night, even though Matt Harvey went 7 2/3. Clippard, Familia, Robles, Carlos Torres all worked last night, so last thing the Mets need is an early exit tonight for DeGrom. Curveball bounced to 3rd, backing off Murphy has a long throw to make against the slow-footed Ramos, and he gets him by a stride. 1 out.
Well, know your base runners, and Murph does a good job here. You slow runner, you can play back, get the long hop. Wise choice. Get that foot out of the way there, Lucas. I don't want you breaking an ankle.
There's Michael Taylor, who has struck out in each of his last 5 at-bats. See, now Steve Gelb's could have asked Ron Swoboda about that. Milwaukee struck out 5 times in a game.
He did.
He did. He also was the star of one of the great strikeout games of all time, when Steve Carlton set the record and struck out 19
and lost.
Swoboda hit 2 two-run homers and beat him. That was in 1969. Popped up in foul ground, and that'll make it into the seats.
Can't say I care for this Washington uniform. They're softball tops with the W.
The curly W.
Pretty hideous.
Do you like the blue caps with the red bill?
Not particularly.
So it's just a clean sweep for you.
No, I don't care. I don't care for the uniform.
But you do like the camo on Wilson Ramos's shin guard.
Yes.
Taylor down on strikes again, so he now has struck out 6 consecutive at bats. Wow. That's 4 on the night now for DeGrom.
Put a watch on him tonight. Just a fastball up and in.
For Michael Taylor, it's now 290 at bats this year, 100 strikeouts. Here's Joe Ross. Grounded out to short his first time up. Ross 1 for 14 in his big league career. Brother Tyson's a pretty good hitter for a pitcher.
$100 strikeouts and 290. Ouch.
Joe Ross, first round pick by the Padres in 2011. He was all set to go to UCLA before he got drafted. And DeGrom's curveball misses 1-2. win again.
A big struggle.
Just has nothing tonight that's working particularly well. And now goes away with the fastball and runs the count full to the opposing pitcher.
I love the way he's composing himself here, trying to find it.
Ross lifts one to center. Granderson had him played perfectly. And that retires the side. Smell 85 pitches through 4 innings, but DeGrom able to get the side 1-2-3. On to the bottom of the 4th we go, 2-0 Nets. The Pirates stay after the game for a special post-game concert featuring 3-time platinum R&B artist Neo. The post-game concert is included in the price of your ticket, and it's all presented by Pepsi. Purchase tickets online at Mets.com/concerts. Neo, not to be confused with Nene.
Better not.
Well, is Neo a wizard? I guess we'll have to wait till the concert to find out. Daniel Murphy leads off in the home 4th inning. Joe Ross is yet to allow a hit. Murphy grounds one, and Zimmerman with a nice backhand pickup and gets the out.
Well, he made a heck of a play. Really, it's the opposite corner. He's used to playing third base, so he's an infielder. That's a beautiful play. What he didn't realize is he had time to set himself and make a throw to the pitcher. But he made a perfect throw anyway. That's just a real fine play.
You know what's interesting in this series? Watching Zimmerman go from one corner to the other, and Jason Worth adjust going from right field to left field. Two guys who have to play mirror images of their old position. Here's Yoenis Cespedes for his second at bat, grounded out to short in his first Met plate appearance. Cespedes came over amongst the leaders in the American leagues in RBIs, 10th, in doubles, 3rd, in hits, 7th, in extra base hits, 5th. In fact, there are the extra base hit leaders among outfielders in the majors, and only Harper and Trout have more than Cespedes. Presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code NYM for free entry. Cespedes grounds one to the left side. Escobar with the spinorama right on target. Cespedes running hard, now by half a stride for the second out.
Another nice play defensively by the Nationals, both at each corner here. Escobar to his left, beautiful play. Good range.
Saw Cespedes running that ball out hard. Terry Collins met with Yoenis before the game today, and the one thing Cespedes told him was, don't worry about me, put me in the lineup every day.
Good.
And you know, that's a great luxury to have. And you know, it also helps when a guy like Cespedes has spent a year around Miguel Cabrera. And I know Cabrera's been hurt for part of this season, but another guy, he plays every day, uses the whole field, and is a great role model for how to keep yourself in the lineup all the time. Although now he's hurt. 1-1 to Duda. Cespedes now 29 years old in his 4th big league season. Duda's been the only Met base runner tonight. He hits this one deep to center field. Taylor goes back, takes a look, and that's long gone. The Mets' first hit of the night is a tape measure drive off the bat of Lucas Duda. 7 home runs in his last 7 games, 19 for the year, and it cuts the Nats lead to 2-1.
Boy, is that nice to see.
He is starting to make regular and impressive deep contact.
His home runs have been coming gap to right center, Garrett. That's a good sign that he's letting the ball get deeper, not pulling, over pulling. And there's not a ballpark in the league that can hold Lucas. Oh, that guy took a tumble.
That's the second one on this homestand that Lucas has hit into that section of seats in center field where you almost never see home runs.
He is that kind of strong. This guy is ripe for the picking. Ross, I'm talking about. He's making a lot of fat pitches.
The second home run Ross has given up in the major leagues. Flores hit one to the fence and left his first time up. And slider has him fishing 1-2. And that home run means $2,000 for an NYC community partner courtesy of Citi. And now Lucas can go watch it on tape.
Well, Lucas knows that he's waiting a little bit longer now, not out in front so much.
The only other homer Joe Ross had given up in the major leagues was to Neil Walker with the Pirates. And now Duda has taken him deep in emphatic fashion. 1-2 to Flores, and he taps it weakly to Rendon, and that retires the side. But the Mets got on the board as Duda hits one well over 430 feet. 2-1 Nats after 4. Offense Yoenis Cespedes brings to the table for the Mets, but don't forget his arm, which is a major weapon.
Well, that's a bit of a rainbow, but it's right on the money. And watch this recovery after a missed play on the carom.
Third time around the batting order for Jacob deGrom as we go to the fifth. Cespedes is yet to have a chance in left field. Anthony Rendon has fly deep to center and struck out.
Yeah, so the Mets are hanging around. Tight ball game.
It's up to deGrom to try and have a quick inning here and keep himself around beyond 5 innings. He has not gone less than 5 innings in a start this season. And he just missed with that breaking ball. 1-2. Lucas Duda's home run getting the Mets back within a run after the Nats got 2 off deGrom in the first. And Rendon slaps one down to Duda. 1 out. By the way, the Ross family might have a little bone to pick with Lucas Duda. That's 2 Ross brothers that Lucas has homered off in the last 4 days.
Lucas, of course, SC too, with back 10.
Well, that's right, and the Ross brothers are from Berkeley. That's right. Tyson went to Berkeley, and
yes.
Joe came out of high school, but was born in Berkeley. So there you go. It's a Pac-10 thing. 12. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I remember the Pac-8.
Chanel Escobar. You know what that means?
Yes.
It means you're old.
That means there was no Arizona and no Arizona State in the Pac-8.
Escobar 2 for 2. And deGrom finds that outside corner, which has been elusive, and Escobar moaning about it to Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire. Little tapper. deGrom knocks it down, has plenty of time. 2 out.
Boy, he's 1 out away from a fast inning, and a much needed one, Garrett.
All of a sudden, Jake has retired 7 in a row. So it's a base hit by Zimmerman in the third, but he's got to get through Bryce Harper to finish off this top of the fifth.
Big boos for Harper.
I said this earlier this year. He kind of sets himself up to be that hated rival. Some of his actions, some of his quotes, and also, so far this year, he's been the best player in the league, which adds to it.
Ooh, that got away. Right between the legs of home plate umpire Jordan Baker. Ball meant to be away. It kind of ran, didn't it?
Strike to Harper, who singled to right, scored a run in the first. They fouled out to the first baseman in the third.
And that was a pitch to hit right there. He had a good cut at that, Garrett.
Zimmerman would be next. Well, Harper, before his 0 for 5 last night, had reached base safely in 26 straight games and in 45 straight road games. That came to an end. Now he's on base for the second time tonight.
Nice hitting. He is. You throw him downstairs, you throw at your own peril. That's just good hitting right there, going the other way with that pitch.
Harper started the night 3rd in the league in batting, 1st in home runs, 3rd in RBIs. It's been 78 years since a National League player won a Triple Crown. 1937, Joe Medwick with the Cardinals. And since then, there have been 18 National League players who have been in the top 3 in each category entering August, but none of them has been able to seal the deal. The last to enter August in the top 3 in all 3 Triple Crown categories was Joey Votto 5 years ago. And you see all those most recent guys who didn't quite match Ducky Medwick. Zimmerman takes a knee-high strike. 1-1. Zimmerman's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Lined out to center and then scalded on up the middle for a base hit. Slider just misses. 2-1. 1937. That's a long time ago.
Yes.
You would think that somebody would have come along and dominated the National League. I mean, it's been done several times in the American League. Mickey Mantle, Frank Robinson, Miguel Cabrera, Carl Yastrzemski. 2-2 to Zimmerman.
And Joe Medwick was a notorious bad ball hitter. A front foot hitter and a bad ball hitter.
Saying he wasn't big on base percentage.
He was a hacker.
Harper missed a step off the bag. Hasn't been doing much base stealing this year. Just 4 in 8 tries.
Joe Medwick, of course, I think most of the fans that have listened over the years, was the minor league hitting instructor for the Cardinals when I was coming up in the farm system.
DeGrom's 100th pitch. And Zimmerman will make him throw another here in the 5th. DeGrom is due a turn bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, so it might be 5 and out for him tonight. We'll see how Terry Collins decides to play it, whether he'd give him another inning at over 100 pitches. First, he's got to get through this one. 2-2. Got him. Side retired. 5 strikeouts for Jacob DeGrom through 5 laborious innings. Halfway through, 2-1 Nats. Slow motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
You notice how he kind of was affected on his deeper, lower voice.
Billy Johnson leads off in the home 5th. Well, you saw Jacob DeGrom there with a helmet on. Eric Campbell also has a helmet on in the Mets dugout. DeGrom due up 3rd here in the bottom of the 5th. Johnson flat out to left his first time up. Normally you would never consider batting for DeGrom in the 5th inning as Johnson bangs off the middle for the Mets' 2nd hit of the night. But with DeGrom at 101 pitches, certainly that is an option. And Carlos Torres is up in the bullpen sporting his new number 72. Gave up his 52 for Yoenis Cespedes. So the Mets get the tying run aboard with nobody out. Darno will come to bat, and for the moment, DeGrom is out on deck. Travis into a fielder's choice his first time up. 0 for 5 now since coming off the disabled list. Chases a slider, 0-1. By the way, you know who the hottest team in the National League East is since the All-Star break?
Philly.
The Phillies. 11-2 since the break, and they lead the Braves 7-2 in the 5th inning tonight. Who would have figured?
Who's managing that club now?
Pete McCann.
That's right.
1-2 to Darno. Is Cole Hamels throwing a no-hitter. He's now a Texas Ranger. They traded one of their prime relievers as well in that deal. Jake Diekman went to Texas, and they traded their closer Jonathan Papelbon to the Nats. They now have Ken Giles closing. 0-2 coming, and Darno chases a slider out of the strike zone. Strikeout number 3 for Ross, the first out of the inning.
Well, he chased 2 bad sliders here.
So a little rush showing on Darno in his first couple of games back. And DeGrom will stay in.
Do you bunt? Escobar thinks so, and I believe he would be correct in his judgment here. He might give him 1 pitch to swing at.
DeGrom had a long turn at bat and was caught looking his first time up, but he is squaring and bunting foul into the screen. Jake has 8 hits this year and 3 sacrifices. He's driven in 2 runs.
Have such a nice pitching staff that hits well. Starting rotation. They're all athletes. Harvey handles the bat well. DeGrom can hit. Syndergaard can hit. Neese can hit. And Cologne, when you make a mistake, he'll get you.
Best hitting pitcher's probably on the DL right now. Steven Matz. Rob gets it down nicely. Ross will have to go to first with it. 1-3 on the sacrifice, moving Johnson to second. Tonight's Verizon trivia question: who was the first Mets pitcher to collect a pinch hit? I know this one. I was there. He was in Montreal in the early 90s.
I believe it was on this date, believe it or not.
Was it? Okay.
But I don't know who. I have no idea. Well,
I'm not going to give it away.
Pretty straight up on that defense. They haven't changed much of their outfield defense. They're pretty much stationary out there.
Tying run at second, Kelly Johnson, first at bat for the Mets with a runner in scoring position tonight, goes to Ruben Tejada, who grounded out his first time up. Ruben batting 9th in the order tonight. Takes a fastball for a strike.
Very shallow outfield, and I agree with Tejada. You're just trying to. If you give up a double here, so what? But a base hit, you got a chance to throw a runner out.
Ruben takes inside, 1-1. Granderson would be next. Manson had just 2 hits tonight due to homered in the 4th. Johnson single to lead off this 5th. Two to Tejada.
Up and in. That's they got Ruben the first at bat. And he grounded out to second base.
Torres is not sitting down. I wonder what that means. DeGrom took the turn at bat. Is he going to go back to the mound? 1-2 coming. And Tejada chases the slider for strike 3. So Ross able to work around the leadoff hit. He's got 4 strikeouts for the night. DeGrom's coming back out for the 6th. Still 2-1 Nats. Jacob deGrom back to the mound for the top of the 6th. 101 pitches deep. Jason Worth fouls off the first offering. Worth is walked and flied to right 0 for 1. Worth, Desmond, and Ramos up for the Nats in the 6th. deGrom's season high pitch count is 115. He did that against the Cubs July 2nd. Last year threw as many as 122 in a start against the Pirates. So that's what he's working against tonight as he starts the 6th inning over 100 pitches. Gave up 2 runs in the first, none since. Still has not been particularly sharp, but has been able to impose his will enough to keep this game close.
Well, the Mets have an off day on Thursday in between that Miami and Tampa road trip, so it will give deGrom an extra day. So he may go 7 if he can hold the fort.
It's a generous call there for a second strike on Worth. Jacob has walked 1, struck out 5, given up 6 hits, all singles. That's bullpen staying busy. And Worth fouls it back, and this is where you run into trouble. These Nats have had such long turns at bat last night and particularly tonight against deGrom. Worth had that 13 pitch at bat against Clippard last night. Bounces 1 for Tejada. Nice easy hop. 1 out. Let's check in with the studio. Doug Williams has a game break brought to you by Honda. Home runs now for Rizzo. Cubs came into the day 1 game behind the Giants for the 2nd wild card spot. Ian Desmond takes a strike. Desmond has the 2 RBIs for Washington. A broken bat, bases loaded single that just snuck through the middle with 2 out in the first. Series with the Nats tomorrow night. Then they go to Miami. And the really struggling right now. They've lost 6 of 7. They're down tonight to San Diego, 5-2 in the 6th. Stanton on the DL, Ozuna in the minor leagues. They traded away a couple of starting pitchers, Latos and Herring. Traded away a couple of relievers, and Dyson and Cishek. Desmond down on strikes.
Nope, foul tip.
Desmond's got a piece of it. Stay alive. So it's a kind of a decimated crew that the Marlins are running out there right now. And part of what, after this series is over, for the Mets will be the easiest schedule in terms of winning percentage of any team in the majors. Now Desmond is out on strikes. Second time the charm. As DeGrom picks up his 6th of the night.
Sinking change.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Wilson Ramos. Ramos is 0 for 2.
This has been a battle for DeGrom, showing a lot of grit, Gary.
The Nats were acting, and Ramos was looking back to the dugout as though that was a challengeable play. It's not. Foul tip is not a play you can challenge. And I think Matt Williams knew that. He never moved. It was a call strike to Ramos. He was twice grounded out.
Last 2 innings have been much better for DeGrom. And like I said, a real gritty effort here. Giving up 2 runs in the first inning and just struggling and throwing up 4 straight goose eggs and on the verge of 5 straight goose eggs and keeping his ball club in the game.
This will be his season high 116th pitch. And Ramos lunges for it and fouls it off. Our statistician Dave Freed tells us that 8 times tonight the Nats have had at bats of 6 pitches or more.
Yep.
And that has contributed to the high pitch count. Carlos Torres ready to go if needed. DeGrom trying to put the finishing touches on this top of the 6th. And he gets Ramos. Great changeup for DeGrom to finish off his night. His 7th strikeout. It didn't start well, but DeGrom finishes with a quality start. Now the Mets will try and get him some offense. Down 2-1 in the 6th. Tickets to Jets training camp in Florham Park. Don't miss your chance to get front row seats to all the competition and position battles as the Jets gear up for their 2015 season. Visit Facebook.com/SNY and enter today. And Jacob deGrom's work is done. 117 pitches, a season high over 6 innings. Not easy, but got the job done to the tune of just 2 runs.
It's always a sign of a good pitcher where he doesn't have command, doesn't have his good stuff. He's only given up 2 runs.
Third time around the order for Joe Ross, and he gets the slider in for a strike to Curtis Granderson. Granderson's been up twice, grounded out to the right side both times. Granderson, Murphy, and Cespedes for the Mets in the 6th. That's only run coming on Lucas Duda's home run in the 4th. And Granderson takes a fastball strike, 0-2. Bobby Parnell getting ready to pitch the 7th inning for New York. Ross has struck out 4 tonight. This is with a backdoor, 1-2. Talked about Ross and his walk to strikeout ratio in a very early stage of his career. He's now walked 4 and struck out 38. And he now strikes out Granderson to extend that. It's kind of in keeping with what the Nats have done as a staff. The Nats coming into the night have a 3.68 strikeout to walk ratio, which if it holds will be a major league record for any season. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs. His report tonight is brought to you by StubHub. Steve.
Certainly a lot of excitement today surrounding the guy on deck, Yoenis Cespedes, making his Mets debut tonight. But perhaps there was no more excited person than Kelly Johnson in that clubhouse. Johnson, for a brief time, played with Cespedes in Boston, and he said that after the two parted ways, he always wanted to play with Cespedes again. And there were a couple of reasons why that was the case. First of all, what Cespedes is able to do on the field. Johnson said he is the guy you want up in a big spot. As Murphy grounds out, but he said Cespedes, he has that knack, that ability in big spots to elevate his game, to focus up. And he said that's a rare thing. You're not going to see a guy like Cespedes swinging a bad pitch in a big situation. There's a reason why he's got 61 RBIs, which is ahead of Bryce Harper, who's having an otherworldly year this year. But also the personal side of things. Said Cespedes is easygoing, quiet, but also cares a lot about developing relationships with his teammates. Said that he picked up golf so that he could play with his teammates, and while in Boston, it was a clubhouse with a lot of guys playing guitars. Cespedes learned how to play the guitar as well.
Interesting. That's going a long way right there.
Ross has thrown mostly sliders tonight. Started him off with a fastball that time. Keeping it away from Cespedes. 18 home runs this year, and he's got power to all field. Gets leaned back for the first time, 1-1. Ross has allowed just 2 hits through 5 2/3.
So they're getting him with that slider. They're going to throw him that slider. He's out in front. No, another one. Why not? There, you hung it right there, and he's out in front. So it's a little bit nerves right now for Cespedes.
And Cespedes drives it down the line, hooking, foul.
Well, he got a little bit of a hanger there, and he's just out in front. He waits. Seems to have to reach and let go with one hand. He keeps it fair.
Strikes him out with a slider to end the inning. Joe Ross with his 6th strikeout of the night. On to the 7th we go. Mets go to the pen down 2-1. On to pitch in the 7th inning.
Well, he has his last 3 outings, Gary, beginning in Washington series where he got the loss. He's given up 7 earned runs on 7 hits and 2 1/3 innings. He got off to such a wonderful start, but he's hit a little roadblock here.
As has Michael Taylor, who has struck out in each of his last 6 at bats, including twice tonight against Jacob deGrom, whose work is done after 6 innings. Taylor struck out his last 4 at bats last night and his first 2 tonight. And he swings through the fastball by Parnell. Just for reference, the major league record for consecutive strikeouts for a non-pitcher is 10. Rick Ankiel set that with the Astros 2 years ago. And trying to butt his way on, that's the way to break the strikeout streak, but Duda comes off the bag but stayed on long enough, and they get Taylor, and we'll see if the Nats decide to challenge that. Matt Williams comes up to the top step. Duda had to reach wide for Murphy's throw. Did he stay on?
I believe he did.
Yeah. First base umpire Andy Fletcher looks like he made a good call.
Yes, he did.
And Matt Williams says no challenge.
He wants a challenge.
Did he say challenge? I thought he waved it off.
He said headset.
Sorry. Okay. Well, last night the Mets challenged on what did not look like a hit batsman and did not get satisfaction. Not sure what Matt's replay coordinator saw, but apparently enough doubt in his mind to challenge the call and see if he can get Taylor an infield hit. Play and review brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters, and it would be key if they get it. But boy, every angle we've seen so far seems to indicate that Lucas stayed on the bag.
Here's the angle.
There's no way that gets overturned.
No way.
Based on that, and it took them about 10 seconds to look at it and decide that the call stands. It's probably about the worst challenge we've seen. I mean, they had no chance to win that.
Yep.
So they lose their challenge for the rest of the night. Nice play by Murphy on the bunt. So Taylor fails to strike out, but also fails to reach base. So 1 out. Now Joe Ross is grounded out and flied out. Officially 39 seconds on the review.
So a nice play by Daniel Murphy.
Mets have a lot of people playing in places they were not intended to play when the year began. When you look around the field, Lucas Duda and Travis d'Arnaud are playing the positions that they were slotted to on opening day. Tejada was supposed to be on the bench. Flores was supposed to be at short. Duda's where he's supposed to be. Cespedes wasn't here. Granderson was supposed to be at right. Kelly Johnson wasn't here. Murphy was supposed to be at second. So things change. I've got a feeling, though, that based on what Terry said tonight about Cespedes, that we're going to see him in center field before.
I do too. And the fact that Cespedes loves playing center.
Oh, broken bat. Flair gets past Parnell. Tough play for Tejada. And Ross beats it out. So a fortunate hit for the pitcher, Joe Ross.
And Terry's going to look at this. He's at the second step. I think he said no. They must have looked real quick. Tejada does all he can do. Broken bat. He beat it. A little flare.
So the Nationals have their 7th hit of the night, the first against Parnell.
Nice hustle by Ross.
Second career hit for Joe Ross. So he'll have to run the bases now here in the 7th. See if that takes any steam out of him. He's had a terrific night on the mound.
He's 22 years old.
That'll get tired. Anthony Rendon is 0 for 3 tonight.
You staying for the fireworks?
Only if you do. My daughter is here tonight. She's lobbying for me to stay for the fireworks.
Is she?
I already told her.
And yet?
Probably not.
Tomorrow's an off day for us. I want to get home and go to bed early. I can get up and enjoy the day. My daughter's in town.
I'm going to Miami tomorrow. Fly ball deep left field. Back toward the corner goes Cespedes onto the track, and he runs it down. Cespedes got a great jump on that fly ball off the bat of Rendon, and that's the second out of the inning.
Just got in enough on Rendon. And Cespedes a long way to run here, Garrett. Made it look easy. Had it all the way.
He's a good outfielder with a great arm. So 2 out. Ross still at first. Now Yunel Escobar, who's 2 for 3 tonight. He got it all started against DeGrom in the first inning with a soft single to right. Escobar and Harper singled. Worth walked with 2 out, and then Desmond singled up the middle to drive in 2 runs, and that's all DeGrom gave up in 6 innings, despite a whole host of trouble. Parnell's curveball knocked down by d'Arnaud. 1-0.
It looks like this crowd looks like a full house, just ready to erupt. If the Mets get anything going, it is going to get loud.
Harper looming on deck. There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen. Mets just don't have a situational left-hander. They had Jerry Blevins early in the season. Blevins has just now been cleared to throw after breaking his arm in April.
Ooh, good cut.
Escobar. Parnell got it in on him, and Flores throws out Escobar to end the inning. A hit and 1 left. Duda leads off as we go to the 7th. two teams in the National League East, both of them sport great pitching. You expect close, low-scoring games. 2-1 the Mets won in 12 last night. 2-1 the Nats lead in the 7th tonight. Lucas Duda's accounted for the only Met run with a home run in the 4th inning. Duda now has 7 home runs in his last 7 games, and in fact his last 7 hits are all home runs, which is a new Mets club record. Alonso Robles up in the Mets bullpen. The old record was 5 home runs without any other hits. Bobby Bonilla did that in '92. Ike Davis in 2012. And now Duda, his last 7 hits have all been home runs. Duda hits this one out to left field pretty deep. That goes Worth near the wall, and it's out of here! Lucas Duda with his 2nd of the night to tie the game. Number 20 for Duda, 8 home runs in his last 7 games, and Duda has been putting on a home run display on this homestand. He gets the Mets even in the 7th.
He is finally waiting, Gare, and I said a long time ago, a good second half will make everybody forget about the first half.
Now Flores takes ball 1.
This is not a bad pitch, down and away. That's what Lucas needs to do. There's not this ballpark can't hold him. So who would have thought a month ago, 6 weeks ago, that Duda has a shot for 30 home runs again? He does.
We're less than 2/3 of the way through the season, and he's got 20 now. So he's on pace for better than 30. Unbelievable. And 3 of the 8 home runs he's hit in the last 7 games have come against the Ross brothers. Another $2,000 for an NYC community partner, courtesy of Citi. Flores takes a strike. 5 multiple home run games already this season for Lucas, and that's better than half of his home runs have come in 5 games. He had the 3 home run game and 4 2-home run games. Slowly hit to short for Desmond. And he throws on Flores, one away. By the way, the last time a player hit home runs against brothers in a 4-day span or less, Adam Dunn homered against El Duque and Levon Hernandez.
That's a good duo right there.
What was that, 2006? Of course, Lance Berkman in 2000 homered against the Bennis brothers in the same game against the Cardinals, against Andy and Allen.
Wow.
Kelly Johnson takes it low. Johnson has the only other hit besides Duda's 2 home runs for the Mets tonight. Single to center in the 5th inning. Well, Ross had allowed just 1 home run in his first 5 starts. Now he's given up 2 to 1 guy tonight. And Johnson hits it deep to left. Back goes Worth to the warning track, and it's 1 hop to the wall. Kelly Johnson with an opposite field double.
Well, it took the Met left-handers a while to wake up. A sinker ball pitcher, take him the other way. If you start pulling this Ross and you're a left-hand hitter, you're playing into his hands. You're going to get that ball away. That's his bread and butter. Take it the other way. Well done.
That's going to be all for Joe Ross. Kelly Johnson's 2nd hit of the night knocks Ross out of the box. Matt Williams had Casey Jansen ready, opted to stick with Ross. He gives up a home run and a double here in the 8th, and Jansen will come on to relieve him in a 2-2 game. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon. We'll be right back to Citi Field. Jacob deGrom held the fort after giving up 2 in the first. Joe Ross gave up 2 home runs to Lucas Duda. They're both out of the game now, and 33-year-old Casey Janssen is in.
Former Toronto Blue Jay on the disabled list early this season. Rotator cuff.
Lead run at second, Johnson with 1 out, and Travis d'Arnaud takes a cutter for a strike. Travis 0 for 2 tonight. Hit into a fielder's choice and struck out against Ross. 0 for 6 off the disabled list. Juan Uribe on deck to bat for Bobby Parnell. Jacob deGrom now off the hook after Duda's second home run. Curveball fouled off. And Jansen's ahead 0-2. The veteran left-hander Matt Thornton is up now in the Nats bullpen. Well, Parnell hasn't played much, only his 21st game, but those are his numbers with runners in scoring position this year. Just off the corner with a fastball, 1-2. On to Robles, ready to pitch the 8th inning for New York. One-two from Jansen to d'Arnaud. Out slowly. Johnson will have to stay put. Desmond throws out d'Arnaud for the second out. So now 2 away. Go ahead run in scoring position, and Juan Uribe will pinch hit. That's only have 1 left-handed bat on the bench. That's Kirk Neuenhuis. He's had a pinched nerve in his neck the last couple of days, so it'll be Uribe in this spot against the right-hander. Uribe started at third base last night with 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, 4 for 13 since joining the Mets. And he's going to be walked intentionally, and they'll go instead after Ruben Tejada.
I agree with this move 100%.
Well, the one thing Matt Williams knows is that the Mets are not likely to bat for Tejada. So he's pretty confident that's the matchup he's going to get, and that's the matchup he wants.
And it's the right matchup.
So Uribe is on. And it'll be left to Tejada, who came up with a runner in scoring position and 2 out his last at bat and struck out on a slider against Joe Ross. Now he's got 2 on and 2 out, and facing Jansen for the first time. Kelly Johnson doubled. He's on second. Uribe intentionally walked. He's on first with 2 out. Mets tied the game here in the 7th on Lucas Duda's leadoff home run, his second of the night. And Tejada takes the cutter outside, ball 1.
Well, this is like a lefty against a lefty. Jansen needs to get Tejada out. Thornton will come in if he loses Tejada to face Granderson.
And Ruben slaps it slowly down to first. Zimmerman makes the play to Jansen, and the Nats able to keep the game tied after Duda got it tied. 8 home runs in his last 7 games. His last 8 hits have all left the ballpark. Lucas Duda, a 20 home run season. He's on a tear in the Mets time. 8:08 p.m. and don't be a minute late. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Michael Kadire poster courtesy of Topps. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. Well, the Mets are going to make an infield realignment here. Daniel Murphy moves from third base to second base. Juan Uribe, who pinch hit, stays in the game at third. And Wilmer Flores moves from second base to shortstop. That will move the pitcher into the 9 hole, and the Mets save one spot in the batting order by taking Tejada out as Hansel Robles comes in to pitch. I'm not quite sure I 100% understand this. I would imagine if you're going to take Tejada out, then you would have to consider to pinch hit for him. But I would imagine that means Neuenhuis is not available.
Correct. And then you got Plawecki you can't use, who's your only backup catcher. So it's either Campbell or Lagares, and Lagares has been really struggling.
Well, by pushing the pitcher one spot further down in the order, Terry tries to ensure that he can get 2 innings if necessary out of Robles, and that makes you wonder who's not available in that Mets bullpen. As Bryce Harper leads off in the 8th inning of a tie game and takes outside ball 1.
Well, you should still get 2 out of Robles, even if you don't flip-flop, and you've taken away a little bit of your defense on the infield.
Well, here's the thing. Robles is pitching for the 4th straight day. Familia's pitched the last 2 days. Clippard's pitched the last 2 days, and Clippard threw a lot of pitches yesterday. Harper takes outside 2-0.
I'm curious if this game goes long and there's a big needed out. Remember that there's only one left-hand hitter in this lineup, and that's Harper. So
maybe bring Clippard in just for the one guy.
Well, Clippard had a really tough outing last time. Well, a lot of pitches, a good strike right there.
Well, I don't know who else in that bullpen you trust to get a left-hand hitter out. Unless you're going to, you don't have go to your big guys.
You don't have to worry about it right now.
Drew Storen up in the Nats bullpen, ready to pitch in the bottom of the 8th.
Once you get past Harper, the rest are all right-hand hitters.
And Robles throws it by Harper, 2-2. Robles looked very good yesterday. He struck out Harper in the 11th inning. That's what led to Harper's ejection.
He's got a rubber arm.
He also made a great defensive play on a ball that was dribbled by Jason Worth up the third baseline. Zimmerman and Worth to follow Harper here in the 8th. Slightly foul, an emergency hack by Harper to stay alive.
That was an ugly hack. That's very similar to the hack that Tejada had last inning.
And that is one happy patron. Harper down on strikes. Robles blows him away. 1 down in the 8th.
That's where Mets get him out, up and away. And let's pound him right there all day long, until he can prove he can hit it.
1 out now. Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3 on the night. Has hit 2 balls hard. Lined out to center, single to center against DeGrom, who finally struck him out in the 5th.
I think home plate umpire Jordan Baker has done a nice job back there tonight.
Youngest member of this 4-man crew. Now Robles behind on Zimmerman 2-0, as he was behind on Harper 2-0. Rom went 6, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits. Parnell pitched a scoreless 7th. And now Robles in the 8th. Zimmerman swinging, flies it out to center field. Granderson's there. 2 out. Let's check in with the studio. Doug Williams has another game break brought to you by Ford. Giants playing in Texas for the first time since the 2010 World Series. Rangers beat Madison Bumgarner last night. Robles has retired the first two here in the top of the 8th. Now Jason Worth, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. The Nats have 7 hits. The Mets have 4. But all 7 Washington hits have been singles, and the Mets have gotten 2 home runs from Lucas Duda. Well, 3 straight hitters. Robles has fallen behind 2-0. He struck out Harper. Got Zimmerman to fly out on a 2-0 pitch. Now he's behind Worth 2-0. There's a strike. Now Thornton up for the 3rd time in the Nationals bullpen with Granderson and Murphy due to start the bottom of the 8th. Now Robles has gotten a lot of success with the high heat in this inning.
He's fearless, I'll give you that. He's got a great arm, throws hard, and you said it, Gary, 4 days in a row. He likes to pitch.
And never in bigger games than he's been in the last 2 nights for the rookie right-hander. 2-2 to Worth. He dialed it up a bit, and Worth able to waste it away.
Worth has been out for so long, he's just not right. He showed a little frustration there on that last swing. I probably felt it was a pitch that should have hit.
Missed a couple of months with a broken wrist. Missed his 5th game back. 2-2. Struck him out. Top of the order coming up at the bottom of the 8th. Mets and Nats tied at 2. Back with you on Monday night when the Mets open their series in Miami with Bartolo Colon looking to snap his dry spell on the mound against the Marlins. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. Tomorrow night it'll be Noah Syndergaard against Jordan Zimmerman in the final game of this series. It's hoping to be a game behind the Nats when that arrives. Matt Thornton will pitch the bottom of the 8th for Washington. 38-year-old left-hander facing Curtis Granderson, and he gets the breaking ball in for a strike.
Thornton was picked up off of waivers from the Yankees last August.
Jerry is familiar, getting ready for the ninth. Well, Thornton has always had success against Granderson. Curtis is just 4 for 28 against him. Murphy on deck, and then Cespedes. So this will probably be a 2-batter outing for Thornton. But he misses low and in with the sinker, 2-1. Joe Ross went 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, the 2 home runs to Duda. Casey Jansen got 2 outs in the 7th, and now Thornton in the 8th. And Granderson smacks one on the right for a base hit. Harper trying to cut it off. Gets to it on the warning track. Granderson heads for second. He's in safely with a leadoff double.
Perfect. Well done, Curtis. Playing him off the line. Don't know why. He's been pulling. And an easy stand-up double. Now in a game of this importance, an important series, you've got to at least get the runner over here.
20th double of the year for Granderson. Do you bunt with Murphy?
No.
Murphy is 0 for 3 tonight. Last 2 times up has hit the ball to the right side. That would work. Escobar in at third looking for a bunt. None coming, and Murphy fouls off the slider. Well, Yoenis Cespedes in his first game as a Met, standing on deck, might be in a position for some heroics. Escobar still on the grass at third. And Murphy fouls off the fastball, 0-2.
So Aaron Barrett,
who was very impressive last night, is up.
And he's not ready. So if you get Murph out, or Murph gets the runner over, they're going to walk Cespedes to pitch to Duda. You got to.
Well, that's tough right now. The way Lucas is going. 1-2 to Murphy. Lucas 2 home runs tonight. 8 home runs in his last 7 games. And one of those games last night, he didn't even start. Well, so hot he's been with the home run bat.
Pitching coach Steve McCaddy talking it over with Matt Williams.
1-2 to Murphy.
Good fight off pitch right there. Murph up and in, stayed in the at bat. Tough pitch. Fought it off. Steve McCaddy, pitching coach. They don't want to deal with Cespedes.
Murphy 1 for 5 in his career against Thornton. And he slaps one back to the mound. Granderson has to hold. And a soft toss by Thornton. Balloons to Zimmerman, and they get the out.
Oh my word. Well, Murph's trying to get him over. Just chased a bad one. Look at this. Hand grenade.
Well, we'll see how the Nats decide to play this.
Now they got Felipe Rivero as their only left-hander, and he threw a lot of pitches last night.
Well, McCaddy's coming out, not Matt Williams, so clearly they're not taking Thornton out of the game.
Right.
So the question is, do you walk Cespedes intentionally, or do you try and pitch around him, tease him, try to get him to swing at a bad pitch? He has been a little over anxious tonight in his Mets debut and has swung at a number of pitches out of the strike zone. Thornton has faced Cespedes before. He's 0 for 2 against him.
So there's not a whole body of work here. There's an element of surprise.
I just think Duda's so hot right now. How do you walk a guy to pitch?
Well, he's a double play guy too now. If you get him hit a ground ball, you're going
to walk him intentionally.
I cannot argue with this, Gary. I'm sorry. I don't care how hot Lucas is.
So it's going to be Thornton against Duda, who's already hit 2 home runs tonight. And Duda is 2 for 5 in his career against Matt Thornton, which, you know, Matt Williams is completely aware of.
Still, you got to go with percentages, Gary.
Well, this is the second intentional walk in the last 2 innings issued by Matt Williams. The first one worked. They walked Uribe to pitch to Tejada in the last inning, and Jansen was able to retire Tejada.
If he gets Duda out, it sets the stage for Flores.
Then they probably bring Barrett in to face him.
Yep.
But first they have to get through Duda, and that's a tough task right now. There's the intentional walk to Cespedes. And here comes the red-hot Lucas Duda.
.298 this year against left-handers.
Those numbers have come down from his hot early start. But he does have 5 homers against lefties. But right now, he is smacking home runs to every part of the ballpark.
Use the opposite field.
His 2 home runs tonight have come to center and to left. He only needs a base hit to give the Mets the lead. Granderson at second. Cespedes at first, 1 out. Duda fouls off the first pitch slider. Nothing at 1.
Boy, he's feeling frisky at the plate. He's feeling good. It's a heck of a cut, vicious cut. Infield, pretty much straight up in the outfield. It's a flat slider. Good cut, Lucas.
.38-year-old Matt Thornton trying to find a way out of trouble in the 8th. Time asked for. 8 home runs in his last 7 games. Each of his last 8 hits have been home runs. Over Flores, last night's hero, on deck. Duda able to ignore that slider just off the plate, 1-1.
That shows you how good Lucas is feeling at the plate. That pitch he's been flailing at for how long in the first half of the season. Look at that. Didn't miss by that much, Garrett. Now he's taking, and now he's got the count even instead of 0-2.
One and two.
Big rip.
3 sliders in a row now from Thornton. Eight home runs in his last 20 at-bats. Just incredible. He's got 20 home runs for the year now. A single to the outfield would suffice here. 1-2. Hit to left, chasing Worth back to the warning track. It's over his head. Granderson will score. Cespedes held at third. Lucas Duda with an RBI double, and the Mets lead it in the 8th, 3-2.
Slider right there to hit. Good cut. Another slider just missed 1-1. Slider swung on rip. There he goes the other way, Gary. I said use left field. High slider.
Left field, Lucas. 3 extra base hits, 3 RBIs tonight. The Mets lead at 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
Granderson, he's halfway. He can score easily. Look at Cespedes fly, folks. He can run.
Tuffle could have taken a chance, but with 1 out, no reason to. Thornton out, Barrett in. Mets have taken the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Pitching change. We'll be right back. Last night was Wilmer Flores night. Tonight has belonged to Lucas Duda.
2 big cuts for the first 2 strikes, and then he goes up the middle. No intent to hit a home run. Look at the level swing. Fully intent on going the other way. Good hitting.
Now Aaron Barrett in to face Wilmer Flores, base infield in with runners at second and third, and Flores goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1.
Oh, this is a big run to get in right here. You look at Barrett, who threw really impressive last night. 2 strong innings. Great curveball, throws hard. Got to get this insurance run in.
Cespedes, who was walked intentionally in front of Duda on third, and Duda at second. Infield in. Flores 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out against Barrett last night. Jeurys Familia without a save since the All-Star break. In place to get one tonight. And Wilmer takes it at the knees for a strike. And it's 0-2.
That had the knees. Borderline, tough to take.
Got to make contact here on 0-2. Kelly Johnson on deck. Almost with a nice stop to keep Cespedes at third.
Boy, Ramos did not get down, Gare, and the ball came up. Oh, boy.
He hit him in the inside of the thigh. Otherwise, it's right through the 5-hole.
Yes, sir. That's a big break.
What electricity in this building tonight. Sellout crowd, 42,000 plus. Second largest crowd of the year. And they have been entertained by Lucas Duda's bat. 1-2 to Flores. And he strikes out on the breaking ball. And that's the second out. So Barrett gets a huge out, and now it's left to Kelly Johnson. We'll see if they pitch to him with first base open. We've got Darno on deck, who's been struggling in his 2 games off the disabled list.
There comes McCaddy, and they're going to pitch to Kelly Johnson. But I think he's just out there to tell him, look, if you fall behind, make your pitches. This is the beauty of the National League, Gare.
Nobody throwing in that Nationals bullpen. So it's on Barrett to try and keep this a 1-run game. In the 9th inning, the Nationals will have 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Desmond, Ramos, and Taylor with the pitcher's spot due up 4th. So Hansel Robles did the heavy lifting in the top of the 8th. Got through Harper, Zimmerman, and Wirth. 1, 2, 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He's now pitcher of record on the long side. But what a big 2-out hit this could be for Kelly Johnson to try and bring in a couple of insurance runs. Kelly's already 2 for 3 in this game. Single to center in the 5th. Doubled to left in the 7th. And he takes the off-speed pitch outside.
I have a feeling here. Oh, sorry, Gare. There's the Verizon trivia question. Who was the first Mets pitcher to collect a pinch hit?
It was David Cone.
Oh, I was gone. No wonder I didn't know that one.
A year after you left.
I was an old man.
You weren't paying attention from Cleveland.
Oh, I was very old.
And you were in Cleveland. Maybe older than I heard.
$1,000 a month phone bills.
2-0 to Johnson with Darno on deck. And they're pitching carefully to him, but Barrett found the corner that time. 2-1.
They're staying away. Use left field.
Which he already has effectively tonight. Now 3-1.
He doesn't want anything to do with them. They're going to take their chances with Darno only because Darno is just off the DL.
Well, they're not giving him intentional ball for him. 3-1 to Kelly Johnson. And he popped it up. Playable for Escobar. That retires the side, but Lucas Duda's 3rd RBI of the night gets the Mets the lead. 2 home runs and now an RBI double. Familia on to try and save it. Lagares comes into play center field. Curtis Granderson moves to right. And Jerry's Familia, who got 5 outs last night, looks for his first save since the All-Star break.
And Mets need it from him right here to take the first 2 games of this series.
Familia coming in for the save. Every save this year means another opportunity to win prizes from Delta Airlines. Go to Mets.com/Delta Dugout to sign up now. Desmond, Ramos, and Taylor, the 3 scheduled hitters for the Nationals. Lucas Duda driving in all 3 runs. Mets looking for a second straight 1-run victory over their team they're chasing. Desmond 1 for 3 tonight. Drove in the 2 Nationals runs with a bases loaded single against Jacob deGrom in the first. deGrom was able to hold the fourth for 5 innings after that. Parnell and Robles each contributed a scoreless inning as the Mets came back. And now Familia trying to seal the deal. 0 for 3 in save opportunities since the All-Star break. And Desmond with a hack and a slider out of the strike zone. 1-1.
Probably 1-0, looking for a middle in. Try to tie the ball game. The guy hits 20 home runs the last couple seasons.
Familia pitching the 3rd straight day. He had the blown save in the rain against the Padres Thursday. An inning and 2/3 last night, and right back out there tonight. Desmond flies one out to right. Granderson is right there. 1 out. Now it's Wilson Ramos, who has made a habit of thwarting Met hopes. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Just 1 for 21 on the Nationals' current road trip. Chasing the slider. 0-1. They got away with a few sliders last night. Which was a little sharper.
A little sharper out of the strike zone, but they're chasing it.
Michael Taylor on deck. Pitcher spot behind him. 0-1 to Ramos. Bounces that slider. A ball and a strike.
He really hasn't thrown one for a strike yet.
Max Scherzer not pitching in this series. 2nd straight series against the Mets. Syndergaard goes to the mound tomorrow night, hoping to be in a position for a sweep. One and 1 to Wilson Ramos. Sinker at 99 skips in. 2-1. 4th time this year that Familia pitches 3 straight days, so it's not novel territory for him. Mets need very badly for Familia to get back on the beam. And Ramos grounds one to short. Flores with a long throw to make. Right on target. 2 down. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi. This season's Citi Small Business Call-Ups winner is Randolph Beer. Check them out at the Citi Field outfield concourse now through the remainder of the regular season. Learn more at Mets.com/Citi. Nationals down to their final out. Michael Taylor has struck out twice and then was thrown out trying to bunt his way on. 2 out, nobody on. And a breaking ball in for a strike. 0-1. Sellout crowd at Citi Field, hoping Familia can seal the deal. 0-2.
Good sinker. There it is. Where have you been hiding?
He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Luis Familia snaps his slump with his first save since the All-Star break. Lucas Duda with an enormous night with 2 home runs and the go-ahead double in the 8th. And the Mets have taken the first 2 from the Nats to get within a game of first place as they win tonight 3-2.
Well, Gary, you said it all. Duda was Flores last night. Tonight it's Duda. Very gutty performance out of DeGrom. Struggled early, fought his way through 6 tough innings. The bullpen again sparkling, and Familia with his 28th save due to the 2 home runs. And folks, the race is on.
Great work by Hansel Robles against the heart of the Nats order in the 8th. Striking out Harper, pitching a 1-2-3 inning. He winds up with the win as the Mets have taken the first 2 from the Nats, and they're just a skinny game out of first place. Jacob deGrom gave up 2 in the first, held the 4th from there, and the Mets win it 3-2. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contributions so far this season to $135,000. Mets 3, Nationals 2. Fireworks to come at Citi Field. Duda provided the fireworks tonight. More coming up.